Hey there, Griff Hamlin here from Blues Guitar Unleashed. Welcome and thanks for joining me in today's video. Continuing on in our series, we're going to be looking at a lick from box number 2. Just as I did on the previous video where we went over box 1 real quick. Let's make sure we're all talking about the same thing. We are in the key of A minor. So box 2 is actually going to start on the C at the 8th fret of the 6th string. We have 8, 10, 7, 10, 7, 10, 7, 9. Now 8, 10, 8, 10. And you'll notice that I kind of shuffled my fingers to do that. Some people do it that way. Some people use their second and fourth fingers. So it's however you feel comfortable doing that. Adding the blues variant to this, 8, 10, 11 is the first blue note. 7, 10, 7, 10, 7, 8, 9. That 8 being the next blue note. 8, 10, 8, 10, 11. There's the final blue note. And again, I suspect you're probably familiar with that pattern, but just in case you know it a little bit differently or you've not seen it described exactly that way before, now we know we're talking about the same thing. So obviously that is where our lick is coming from today. This is, you can probably tell, very Albert King inspired. One thing that makes it unique is it's going to start with these two 10s. So we're going to actually play two notes in one count. Now, I talked a lot about counting yesterday. I talked a lot about the importance of counting yesterday. I'm going to not belabor that point today, but I'm going to assume that you believe me and you are going to do what I do and say what I say. So we're going to start with 3 and Notice that I'm going to strike that twice on the And then I'm going to go for 4 and is going to be my 8, 10, 8. So 3 and 4 and And again, just like I said yesterday, if you need to print this tab out first and have it handy and write down what you're supposed to say, that's totally fine. So again, 3 and 4 and then we're going to bend this 10th fret up on 1 and again on and. So 1 and 2 and. You're going to hold it all the way. Okay, so it's 1 and 2 and. Now, the thing that's going to happen next is a C and then at the 8th fret and then on the we're going to strike that A at the 10th fret. So this C at the 8th fret is basically kind of going to fall into the 10 on the So what I'm going to tell you to do here is not really count the 8, but just play it right before it's time to play the 10. And that's how you're going to get the sound out of this. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and Let me try that one more time. Hopefully that makes sense. 1 and 2 and And that might be something you have to practice, and that's okay. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and And from there, we just have 3 and which is the A and the C. 3 and 10th fret, 8th fret. Okay, so this is not a lot of notes, but it has some rhythmic variation. And as I often say, rhythmic variation is far more important and more effective than a whole bunch of notes. Okay, so really, really pay attention to the rhythm and the timing and the counting on this one. All right, so here we go again. 3, now that obviously 1 and 2 and that's a rest. We don't need that. So I'm trying not to make this take a bunch of time with you listening to me count through rests. So that's why I'm starting on 3. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and Now you'll also notice that I sometimes vibrato things. Anytime you're holding a note, vibrato is a reasonable thing to do. However, in my experience, many people try to do vibrato way before it's time. You have to be able to play all of these notes and count them and everything nice and comfortably. And then you can kind of take a step back and your ear will say, oh, some vibrato would sound good here. And you'll wrestle with it a little bit at that time. But you'll find that it comes fairly easily at that point. If you try to force it too early, it's really hard. And you're going to feel like, man, that's really hard. I can't do vibrato. It's not that you can't do vibrato, it's that you're just not ready. When you are ready to start to add vibrato, you will kind of feel that detachment from what you're playing, and your mind will start to wander, and you'll be like, oh, some vibrato would be cool right here. That's when you know that it's time to start to add that. So don't worry about it right now. It's not a critical thing, but it's something that I do naturally. So you're going to see me do it. I don't want you to feel like you have to try to emulate that. So one more time. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So again, just do what I do, say what I say, at whatever pace you need to do it at to be able to play this, counting out loud, playing the notes, getting through by memory. I don't want you to have to look at the page. Also, I want to encourage you, without pulling the page out, to play yesterday's lick a few times. Turn on the jam track and try to play yesterday's lick as well. I don't want you to forget these, because when we get to the end of this, I'm going to put them all together. And you're going to have a really cool solo, you'll see. But if you forget stuff along the way, that's going to be a problem. So don't forget stuff along the way. All right, let's turn on the jam track and try to play it with it a few times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again, it's minor, so it'll go over any of the chords. It doesn't matter. Just keep playing it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, so that is our lick for box 2. Again, be on the lookout. We're going to keep this up. Tomorrow's day 3, so we'll do a lick from box 3, lick from box 4, lick from box 5, and then I'll show you what they sound like when they all go together. It's really, really cool. And again, this is kind of celebrating my new 50 Slow Blues Licks by the Box course, where there is 10 complete licks in each of the 5 boxes. There's trading videos, solos for each group, and even 3 extra bonus solos at the end with the licks that cover all of the boxes. It's really, really cool. So again, I'll leave a link near this video for you to check that out. I will leave the jam track and I will leave the tab by this video for you to download, and you have everything that you need to get to it today, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.